Welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring one of the most incredible spots in the Rocky Mountains. Let's get into it. Most people don't experience this place the right way. Here's what you need to know before you go.
If you want to experience one of the most raw and powerful landscapes in Rocky Mountain National Park without climbing to the summit, this is the hike you need to see. Chasm Lake sits directly below Long's Peak, surrounded by massive granite walls that feel overwhelming the moment you arrive. This trail isn't about comfort or ease. It's about exposure, wind, and terrain that reminds you how small you really are. And if you're not prepared, it can be much more intense than expected. In this guide, we're walking through the entire Chasm Lake Trail, so you know exactly what you're getting into before you go. The hike to Chasm Lake begins at the Long's Peak Trailhead, one of the most well-known starting points in the park. This trail covers around 8.5 miles round trip with significant elevation gain, and it starts climbing almost immediately. Early mornings are common here, especially for those aiming to beat weather or crowds. As you move through the forest, the trail gradually builds in intensity, giving you a steady introduction to the terrain ahead. It may feel manageable at first, but this hike quickly becomes more demanding the higher you go. As you continue climbing, the forest begins to thin and eventually opens into alpine tundra. This is where the landscape shifts dramatically. Trees disappear and the terrain becomes more exposed to the elements. You'll start to notice the wind picking up, and the temperature can drop quickly even in the summer. The trail becomes rockier and more rugged, requiring more attention with each step. At this point, you begin to feel fully immersed in the high-altitude environment, where the scenery becomes both more beautiful and more intense. As you get closer to Chasm Lake, the scale of Long's Peak becomes impossible to ignore. The massive granite walls rise above you, creating a sense of exposure that feels completely different from other hikes in the park. The trail becomes rougher and more uneven, and the wind can be strong enough to make you stop and steady yourself. This is where the hike begins to feel truly alpine, where every step forward feels earned. The closer you get, the more intense the environment becomes, building anticipation for what's ahead. And this is where most people realize this hike is different. The wind, the exposure, and the terrain all come together at once. It's no longer just a scenic trail, it becomes something that demands your full attention. This is where you decide whether to keep pushing forward or turn back, because from here on out, the experience only becomes more intense. The final approach to Chasm Lake is where the trail becomes its most demanding. The terrain turns into a mix of large rocks and uneven ground, requiring careful footing and steady movement. There's no smooth path here. Every step needs attention. The wind can still be present, and the exposure adds to the intensity of the climb. But with each step forward, the landscape continues to build, pulling you closer to one of the most dramatic destinations in the park. This is where the effort truly begins to feel worth it. And then you arrive at Chasm Lake. Sitting directly beneath the towering face of Long's Peak, this place feels powerful, raw, and completely exposed. The water is often dark and windswept, reflecting the massive granite walls above it. It's not calm in the same way as other alpine lakes. It feels alive, shaped by the environment around it. After everything it takes to get here, the view feels earned. It's not just about beauty, it's about experiencing something that feels much bigger than yourself. If you're planning to hike to Chasm Lake, preparation is key. Start early, as weather conditions can change quickly in this part of the park, especially near Long's Peak. Bring layers, because temperatures can drop fast with elevation and wind exposure. Wear proper footwear for rocky terrain and be ready for uneven ground throughout the final stretch. Most importantly, know your limits. This trail is more intense than it looks, and turning back is always the right call if conditions don't feel right. If this helped you plan your trip, hit subscribe, because we're breaking down the best trails in every national park.